I just want to clear up some confusion from my last video. I did not say we have to keep all of the law of Moses now. I also did not say we don't have to keep the law of Moses. Look, firstly, it should be called God's law given by Moses because the laws came from God. Also, when Christ was tempted by the devil, 3 times he responded with quotes from Deuteronomy, the law of Moses. When Christ was giving us the 2 great commandments, loving God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and neighbor as self, he was quoting the law of Moses, Deuteronomy 6, verse 5, and Leviticus 19, verse 18. The last page of the so-called Old Testament says, "Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant." That's Malachi 4, verse 4. So clearly, Christ thought that the law of Moses was not done away. Why would he cite it? Paul cited the law of Moses where it said, "Don't muzzle the ox that treads the grain," to show that ministers should be able to have their living from preaching the gospel. So he thought it still applied. So the law of Moses was never done away. It was never abolished. But some aspects are no longer in play. We're not under the ancient theocracy with its own criminal penalties. We don't put to death those that curse father or mother. We don't put to death witches. However, the law of Moses shows us that cursing father and mother and being a practitioner of witchcraft is wrong. But we don't enforce those criminal penalties. They are not in play today. In like manner, the sacrifices, the Levitical priesthood, is not in play anymore. The perfect sacrifice has come. We're now under the priesthood of Melchizedek. So it's not that the law of Moses was abolished, but criminal law for a theocracy that's no longer around, it doesn't apply to us. In like manner, now that the perfect sacrifice has come, we are not under the Levitical priesthood. Christ is our high priest. There was one issue that is kind of hard to figure out whether we should keep or not. But for the most part, it's fairly easy to see which laws are applicable and which are not if you don't have a bias and you're trying to use common sense. The only so-called controversial thing that needed clarity from the Holy Spirit was circumcision of adult Gentile converts. Circumcision physically was pointing to circumcision in the heart. So we all are circumcised in the heart, spiritually. And while the apostles did not say that 8-day-old Hebrew babies should not be circumcised, they never said that. What they said was that adult Gentile converts do not need to be physically circumcised. If you don't agree with that, read the New Testament again. It's quite clear. So if you want more in-depth discussion, watch my video. But that is what I was pointing out. The law of Moses was not done away, but certain aspects are no longer in play. Common sense. Peace.